All right, so welcome to my very first Airbnb tour of my year of traveling. So we are starting off here in the living room. So this is what you see right when you come in through the front door. As you can tell, there is a lovely couch. There's also a dining room table for four. I try to clean up as best as I can, but it's a little messy. And the lighting, I'm on the first floor, so it's very dim and dark. This is as bright as it's gonna get in the whole apartment. But yeah, so the dining room table, it's a nice square wooden table. It's right off the front door, so I could just put things down, and it's good for four people, but I haven't had anyone over. Okay, and then you'll see the couch. There's a curtain right there that just leads to like another like door, so they just want us to keep it closed. There's like a fan there that I have going on, that white little fan. It's nice. It keeps the airflow. Um, and then as you can see, my suitcase, I unpacked pretty much the first day I got here because I didn't want to live out of my suitcase. Okay, and then onto the side, as you can see, I'm watching Friends. The TV is just, it's a pretty small TV, but it is a Samsung Smart TV, so I'm able to have my Netflix, and they have Prime, so any type of streaming sites I could get. There's this nice little blue chair that's underneath the TV that is just, it's nice. It's just another place to sit. That's one of the things I like about this apartment is there is a lot of places to sit. This is the front door. It is, I'm backing up just so you can have a good look of it. The front door is nice. It has like, sorry, it's a little shaky. I promise you the next videos are better. Um, there's a dining room table. And then that front door again, it's like 4 bolts. It's pretty nice. All right, now we are gonna walk into the bedroom. So let's go into the bedroom. So this is the bedroom. All right, so um, first of all, this bed, very comfortable. I haven't slept in a very comfortable bed in Airbnb in quite some time. So this bed was nice. All right, and there's like a nice little bench to the side, and a nice little table to the side so I could put my phone on there. And then as you can see, the living room is just right through that door. I could close the door, but I just leave it open. There's like another chair in here. It's like this nice green chair. The color scheme for each room I thought was very lovely. This is the only window of the Airbnb. I value a lot of natural light, so that had to be one of the, sorry, it's a little shaky, I'm telling you guys. Like downside of this place because it's very dark. So it's nice at night because then I'm able to sleep very comfortably. But I think my next few places I'm gonna need some more natural light. It's it's hard to have all this light. As you can see, there's 2 bags there. One bag has like my jewelry, my makeup, and the other bag has like my underwear. I just left them in the bags. I didn't put it in the dressers. And then, okay, so I want to show you all, and this, by the way, is filmed on my phone. I went back and forth. Okay, so I'm showing you all this green, this fake greenery plant thing that they have. I tied it up because it was hard to keep going back and forth. The host left me some snacks, so I thought that was very lovely. Again, this is the dining room table. I just wanted to show you all the flow of it. So when you leave the um, kitchen, you go back into the living room, and then you'll see the dining room. Above the couch, there's this nice little shelf of like knickknacks. There's some books about Palermo. Um, it's really nice to have that fan there. And then again, you go back into the bedroom. There's a bigger fan, AC, and it actually really cools down the apartment quickly. I've only had to use it once. It hasn't been that hot, but by the time I'm recording this, it would have been like my first week. But by the time you guys are watching this, I'm gonna be out of here. Okay, this is my closet. I hung up some of my clothes that can be hung up, and the rest I left in the bag. But again, like I said, I wanted just to keep hanging things. My overalls kept falling down, so I left I just have them down. Those are some of my jackets. I just brought 4 jackets with me. One's in the suitcase. And like I mentioned, these are just some pajamas and then my other stuff. All right, here is the kitchen. So the kitchen is small compared to American standards, but it's a pretty good sized kitchen for Italy. Excuse again the shake camera. I promise you the next ones are going to be amazing. Okay, so you can see there's a sink here. There's a nice little espresso machine. And then I brought that bag with me. So when I go shopping, I could just put stuff in the bag. I don't have, it's my way of trying to be green while I'm traveling. And then there's a microwave. There's a stove. There is a oven, so everything has to be stovetop or microwave. So that's interesting. There's also no dishwasher, but there are plates and cups, which has been really handy. So plenty of plates and cups for me. And then on the other side, there's some like mugs for tea and for coffee, and then some wine glasses. And some espresso pods, which I've been using, and it's been really amazing. And then if you go underneath the stove, the stove, there are atop dry goods first. I just bought a few things. This is like, day 3, so there's not a lot of groceries. I would have gone grocery shopping more, but this is where we just put some of our dry goods. This is more of an espresso machine and just more storage. I didn't really need it. And then, okay, I'm changing the camera settings, so give me a second. There we go. Okay, underneath the stove, there are my utensils. There you go. So plenty of forks, spoons, and knives, more than I need. And then there's some pans there and some cutting boards. And then at the very bottom, let me move the camera one more time for y'all. There we go. Very bottom, there are some more pots and pans, and that white thing that you see there is a dishwashing rack. So when I wash the dishes, to dry them on there. Now, I will show you all in the next clip all these garbage cans that I had to figure out. So let's get into that in the next clip. Okay. So back with my phone. There's not 1, but 2, but 3 or 4 different garbage bins. And I had to Google Translate this sign. There's different days that different garbage goes out, but they really do separate it from like food, plastics, paper, something else. It was a lot that I had to figure out. And so I figured it out, but that was a lot of garbage bins. And like I said, I have the bag there, and yeah. So now we're going into the restroom. This is just how it's right off the kitchen, and I think it's a pretty good sized restroom. But we are going to, I'm going to show you more of the restroom with my phone, and this will be the last room I show you all. All right, so when you go in, I think the shower is a pretty normal shower for any European place. It's just, you'll see it. But there I am on my phone. Let me turn on the light. So there's 2 lights in the bathroom, so it's nicely well lit. There's a shelf there. But there is the shower, so I have some of my stuff in there. It's a pretty good size. There's no bath, so it's just a shower. And then I have this toiletry bag, by the way. If you are traveling abroad, like something that you can hang is just so beneficial because you don't always have enough counter space. And then when you turn around, there's the mirror, there's the sink, there's some more towels. I put all the stuff I use daily just on the shelf, just to make things easier, because I wanted this to be like I'm living here and not just traveling. Then, you leave the bathroom and you're back into the kitchen. And then I could also see the living room from the bathroom. And that's it.